Brewing 2nd, October 2nd. Kingmaker in Riverside. Brought to you by Jacksonville's hometown credit union, 1-to-1 Financial. Duncan.
They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. Now, who are we?
Roland Reach Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reach Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
Hey, sports fans, this is Ultimate Vegas Insider John Anthony, and I'm on fire. To prove it, I'm releasing my Monday Night Report exclusively on the recorded message line. Monday nights 25-9 last 2 years. That's 74% winners. I'm red hot. Call 1-800-808-3481. Dallas, New York is a lock. The total to parlay, Thursday and Saturday's early release. John Anthony has you covered. We go 5-0 the season free. 1-800-808-3481. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, #1 against the spread. I'll prove it. Dallas, New York is a lock. Win the side. Win the total. Parlays and teasers cash in. A $200 player wins $3,000 this week. Recorded message 1-800-808-3481. Dallas, New York, plus Thursday and Saturday early release. 1-800-808-3481. That's 1-800-808-3481. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by your First Coast Honda dealers. How about the Florida State Seminoles? A big victory over Boston College on Saturday. Jordan Travis over 300 yards passing. Mike Norvell on the win for the Noles.
First off, what a night. What an incredible atmosphere. That is what college football is about. Man, our fans, that was special.
Florida State head coach Mike Norvell. The Noles are back in the AP Top 25 poll this week after now going 4-0. Florida State number 23 in the country. The top 5, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson. Right now, 89 degrees at 5:59. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Complete domination by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow, so much to do, so little time to get it in. Over the next 2 hours, just a powerful performance by Jacksonville, especially in that second half to just completely pull away from as the media will remind us, the depleted Los Angeles Chargers. A little disappointed with the NFL Network today. Again, I don't go to ESPN anymore. They sold out decades ago. But the NFL Network, I think, is good. They're pretty accurate. But today it was all about what wasn't happening in L.A., not what is happening in Duval. I will continuously tell you that when it comes to this football team, you need to lean on the local media. All right, us as well. And whether you're a beautiful, just tremendously talented and very handsome man on television, or you're a scribe, all right? It doesn't matter. You got to trust the local guys here because the national media, there's only a few out there who, Prisco's one, Baldinger's one, that really dive into this organization. And for one reason or another, that's the way it is. If this team continues to win football games, that'll change, as it did during 2017 and as it did going into the playoffs in 2018. But watching the NFL Network today, Joey Bosa got hurt, Rashawn Slater got hurt, they were without Keenan Allen, they were without Corey Lindsey, they were without J.C. Jackson. Okay, that's the game. That's college, that's NFL football. It's a week-to-week basis of being able to stay healthy. And one of the great scenarios so far this year for Jacksonville is that they have been a healthy football team. You know, Shaq Griffin came down. I guess it was the quad, on Friday. He was a game-time decision, didn't go. Jacksonville had to make some changes. Trey Herndon played an awful lot. Darius Williams on the other side. Both, I think, need to get better. They certainly cannot afford another injury right now within the secondary, but just overall, the offense, the defense. You know, I'd love to say the special teams, but there was only one punt in the game for Jacksonville, right? And as far as the kicking game is concerned, hey, it's working now for Riley Patterson. 3 for 3. I know in that first half there were a couple of scenarios where you were wanting 7 points. I admire the fact that Doug Peterson on the road took the 3. I think that's the way to go about it. Of course, he did go for it on 4th down, and that, from midfield, right spot on the 50 on that 4th and 1. Give the football to James Robinson. Incredible blocking on the left side, and you saw the pull there by Brandon Sheriff, and L.A. just had no chance. It's so encouraging right now to watch what Jacksonville is able to do when it comes to running the football. And even last week we talked about it, how statistically speaking, it really didn't add up, and there were some complaints that came in, which I found pretty humorous considering they had won a game. But people like, why are they running Robinson in the fourth quarter? Why are they running ETN in the fourth quarter? It's very predictable, and I think they had 10 carries for like 18 yards in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a good performance, but I love the fact that Peterson remains stubborn, and with a huge lead, just get the heck out of there, okay? You look at what they did on Sunday, 36 carries, 151 yards. That's an average of 4.2 per. But if you go to the two guys that we're going to talk about here the most, obviously it's J-Rob and it's ETN. Combined, that's 30 carries, 145 yards. 30 carries. That's exactly what you want. Once again, for a second consecutive game, that is not the case. I thought it was. They actually were 39-36, 3 more passes in this victory for Trevor Lawrence, who is growing up right in front of our eyes. I refuse to do radio around here and point back to when fans overreacted, when fans lost their mind, when fans took over as the Monday morning quarterback and they knew everything. But if I was to rewind the tape from 3 Mondays ago, you had Trevor Lawrence as a bust, okay? You had Josh Allen as a guy who doesn't make plays. You had, how about Devin Lloyd being a reach and a bad drive? I was going to leave it alone because I always do radio and always have done it. I try to do it the way that I think that fans want to hear it. And this is why I've always admired fandom, okay, is you can fire a coach, you can fire a player during a game, after the game, but you're always going to stay with it. And when that particular player, that coach, finds himself, how do you explain 13 penalties 2 weeks ago, 2 penalties yesterday? I don't have an answer. Maybe you do. How do you explain time of possession for a second consecutive week, almost legitimately 2-1? Yesterday's numbers, 38 minutes and 27 seconds. Jacksonville controlled the ball the entire game. All right, L.A., 21 minutes, 33 seconds. Again, 0 turnovers, 2 takeaways. The numbers are gorgeous. When's the last time you have been able to say this about a Jaguar football team? So to all you fans who are floating and you're on cloud nine, I feel for you. I'm happy for you. Isn't life so much better when your football team wins games? Isn't it so much better to get up on a Monday morning and head for an entire week's worth of work, knowing that you got a football team that is more now than on the come? All of a sudden, there's some legitimacy here. And you look at Philly this weekend, they're one of only 3 teams in the NFL who are undefeated. 2 teams are 3-0. That is Philadelphia and Miami. The other undefeated team tonight does play at home, a divisional matchup between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. But, I mean, all of a sudden, all this stuff is coming together. Juwan Taylor is playing right now like he needs a future contract. And, you know, I'll point out every once in a while in a kidding fashion how the fans overreact. I overreact all the time. I wouldn't have re-signed Cam Robinson. Look at the job he did yesterday. I am in complete fear of giving Juwan Taylor a 3 to 4 year contract extension. He is playing incredible football right now. He hasn't allowed a pressure in 3 games. It's a clean pocket, and I'll dig up the numbers a little bit later on, but yesterday in what is now, 20 career starts for Trevor Lawrence, it was the fastest game he's ever had as far as getting rid of the football. So even in a game like this where you had a lead, but let's be honest, the lead didn't really change until midway through that third quarter. You're up 16-7. That in itself is impressive. We know that last year Jacksonville averaged 7.6 points in the first 30 minutes of play. You put up 16 yesterday, more than double than what you did during the 2021 season. All right, you put up 15 in that third quarter, and that's where everything certainly did change. Let me find it for you. I got it right here because we've talked so much about that quarterback room with Press Taylor, with Mike McCoy, with Jim Bob Cooter, and Doug Peterson, 4 former quarterbacks, C.J. Beathard, the backup, and Trevor Lawrence working in unison to develop, to grow on a week-to-week basis. And there are so many things that Trevor needed to get better at, and he is. As a matter of fact, when I come back after this first break, I want to spend a little bit of time on Trevor Lawrence, along with some other things that are just improving at an incredible pace or an incredible number. I mean, it's so fun to watch. But here it is. It's Next Gen Stats. They tweeted out this morning, Trevor Lawrence averaged a career low 2.39 seconds to throw the ball in the victory. He was efficient on quick passes, less than 2.5 seconds. He was 19 of 23 for 162 yards and a touchdown. Okay, getting rid of the ball in less than 2.5 seconds. And it's not like it was a phenomenal pass rush yesterday. I listened to the game on television. Was Khalil Mack even mentioned during the broadcast? And we know that Joey Bosa went out, pretty early in the game, but you just look at what they're doing offensively. The protection for Trevor Lawrence, the willingness to run the football. And, this was a little bit skewed if you looked at L.A. because they averaged 5.1 yards a carry defensively. They were, I think, third worst in the NFL in giving up 5.1 yards a carry. But teams were still not running the football an awful lot at them. I want to say they were only picking up, 78.5 yards a game. 31 carries, 157 yards is what L.A. allowed in their first 2 football games when they had a record of 1-1. 31 rushes, 157 yards. Jacksonville yesterday put up 36 rushes for 151 yards. Okay? I mean, just incredible. That LA defense was gashed. They took on 5 more carries yesterday against the run than they had in the first 2 games combined by a clip of 36-31. Again, Jacksonville getting it done on the ground. Defensively, the numbers are staggering. The Jaguars right now are the number 1 rush defense in professional football. Okay? Even during the great top 5 defenses that this organization had in 2017 and in 2018, still the one wart that stuck out was their rush defense. And you expect it to be low the way it's been the last 2 years around here because you won 4 games in 2 seasons. you don't expect it to be, like this when you're in games and you're trailing and teams are going to be forced to pass the football in the fourth quarter. It's pretty amazing. I mean, if you look at what Jacksonville has done, let me find the actual number for you. I mean, 55 yards a game is just spectacular. But it's even more impressive that teams are, still at least attempting to run the football against Jacksonville. It's not like they're facing, 10 carries or less a game. Let me see here. Defensive against the rush. It's always so important. Jacksonville right now, number one in the NFL, 165 yards is what they have allowed now in 3 games. Just totally different from a year ago. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown all year. They're number one in the NFL there. 0 touchdowns on the ground against this football team. So playing much better there. Obviously creating turnovers. Last week we saw it. They got 3 picks on 5. They 5 sacks, but each and every one of those 3 picks a week ago was a result of pressure, right? Statistically speaking, as far as sacks yesterday, not a great day, only 1 for Jacksonville. But if you really go inside the numbers and look at it, including Josh Allen, I mean, he had a career high 8 pressures. He had 4 quarterback hits. He drew a couple of offensive holding calls. It just is all over the place right now. The offense, the defense. I was going to say a little bit earlier, the whole Devin Lloyd comment, I kind of went sideways with it. But it just amazed me how people, were down on him after one game. I understand you being down on him because on that particular afternoon, they were self-inflicted wounds. I made the comment then, and I got criticized for it. But I thought that Jacksonville was a better team than D.C., and that they were wounds that they created, and they were mistakes that, frankly, I have no idea where they came from because we didn't see it during the preseason. How they put up 13 penalties, I'll never know. We've seen how things have totally changed with this franchise in the last couple of weeks, including only 2 penalties on Sunday in their victory against the Chargers. All right, we got an awful lot to do tonight. Rick Ballou here with JJ. Are we on YouTube again this week, or
Always.
have they suspended? Oh, they haven't canceled us yet.
No, not yet. YouTube is still letting us broadcast, so you are there in person, waving right now. All
I'm waving to
go
him.
to 1010XL's YouTube page, and you'll see us bright red letters live. Give us a click.
How are you on the other side? You okay? I know it was a rough
No,
Saturday
I'm
for
not.
the Canes.
My girl, she didn't let me around any sharp objects this weekend. I wasn't allowed to go on our deck. I live on the 3rd story. I'm on watch right now.
Did you switch to brown liquor?
I was drinking vodka actually all weekend. I'm rethinking everything about the Mario hire, to be honest with you.
Ooh, man, I tell you what, I bought into him when I interviewed Cristobal in late July in Charlotte. I remember putting out, I'm scared. And I just don't know what to make out of that with Miami. I know Leon Searcy has put him on notice, and he's kind of gone into the timeout for at least 3 weeks
or something.
Yeah, he's bitter about it. But we'll talk some college football a little bit later on in the show. Whether it's Miami there, Tennessee finally solves Florida, and what a pack of clowns! I mean, they almost if one university was going to Tennessee it. It's Tennessee itself, just to be in a situation where you had an opportunity to throw a Hail Mary. Honestly, it reminds me exactly of what Florida State did 3 weeks ago in their victory over LSU. I mean, when you got a team down, you got to rip out the jugular, right, and watch them bleed to death right there. You can't allow teams back in. Tennessee gets it done, second time in 18 years. Florida State dominant. Florida State freaking scary. I mean, scary. They are fast. They are all over the place. They are east to west. They are north and south. They got playmakers over there, and they're playing hard right now for Mike Norvell. There's no question about that. All right, opening comments each and every night brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Dr. Neil Shmunez has been practicing this now for more than 37 years. They're a family organization. They're out at the beach. They're all about focusing on personal, high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Again, I tell the story often. More than 8 years ago, I just went in for a routine eye exam. Get an updated prescription with my contacts. He's like, "Bud, you got something bad in your right eye, and it's got to get out of there immediately." So I'm like, "Okay, let's go under the knife." And I did. And he went in, and then he came out. And guess what? Nothing. No problems, no issues, no setbacks whenever I visit. So that is very comforting to know that if there is an issue, it'll be discovered with the good folks at Shmunez Vision. Catherine Shmunez, fellowship trained in cornea cataract surgery, all refractive surgery. You may have issues with cataract and not need cataract surgery. It could be a very simple process. But again, that's why you visit the best, Shmunez Vision. They are going to be able to tell you exactly what you need. And who knows, you could be a candidate for laser eye surgery. Talking more than 30 years of experience with the two. So check them out online, shmunezvision.com or 299-2906. That is the phone number, 299-2906. Shmunez Vision, care you can see. The Jaguars are playing outstanding football. We got much more to do with their huge victory yesterday over the Los Angeles Chargers.
Hayes Carline flies his B-52 bomber behind enemy lines.
It is what he's trained to do.
5 hours before kickoff, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Message received.
On 1010XL.
Over and out.
Honda continues to impress with their new lineup this year. Don't settle for less when the best is just minutes away. We invite you to visit your local Honda dealer and see the vehicles everyone is talking about. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Come see us. We're dealing.
We're ready to deal. Best Bet St. Augustine is now open. Experience the best in poker, simulcast wagering, and fun card games for all levels at Best Bet St. Augustine. Best Bet's newest card room features 49 gaming tables, a state-of-the-art sports bar, delicious wings, a full-service bar, and freshly made sushi. Open from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. Monday through Friday and 24 hours on the weekends. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive, right off exit 311. For promotions, go to bestbetjacks.com.
All right, Ballou here, checking in with words of wisdom to be applying life in your business from the business attorneys at Jimerson Burr. The late Roger Maris once said, and I do quote, "I do know that when I'm not hitting, my wife could pitch and get me out." End of quote. That is Roger Maris. Of course, tonight, Aaron Judge trying to tie Roger Maris, New York in Toronto, first pitch at 7:07. Jimerson Burr, they represent businesses, all industries, all sizes, each matter with the same quality care, attention to detail, and respect as if they were representing themselves. The little business, the little businessman, the little businesswoman, this applies to you as well. Sometimes you think big corporate America, it's all about the big wrong. Jimerson Burr loves small mama and papa businesses as well. 389-0050, the number for Jimerson Burr, or log on to jimersonfirm.com.
Hey Jacksonville, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk, and I want to invite you to join us for the Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K from October 3 to 9. Come see me and some of my closest friends compete at the beautiful Timuquana Country Club while enjoying great food, live music, and celebrity appearances. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't forget to reserve your seats for the Furyk Foundation concert on October 4th. Can't wait to see you all there.
Are you considering improvements to the exterior of your home but dreading the pushy salesman with amazing discounts? Then don't. Call Kohler Homes instead. We provide an honest consultation, then pinpoint the best window no matter who the manufacturer. If you fall for the pressure sale, then you limit your options. Don't be rushed into that contract with a pretty discount. Let the consultants at Kohler Homes help you make the right choice. So visit KohlerHomesInc.com for all your window, door, painting, and siding needs, or give us a call at 904-580-3777 to schedule your free consultation today.
Having an active lifestyle is one of the most rewarding things you can give yourself. Dr. George Barry here, and at Barry Orthopedics, we know how important it is to be out and about, doing the things you want to do to enjoy a full life. But if joint pain gets in the way of staying on the field or in the gym, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have a team of orthopedic surgeons with over 35 years of practice experience in the field. Come see us at Barry Orthopedics with locations all across Jacksonville.
And don't forget, catch Dr. George Barry on Breaking Bones Sunday morning, 7:30.
What up?
Mia O'Brien, your second favorite media mogul here. Catch me weekdays on XL Primetime from 12 to 3 and Tuesday nights on Helmets and Heels. Plus, be sure to check out my quick hits driven by Arlington Toyota on the 1010XL video and social media channels.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hicken here. About 2 years ago, I had Bueller Air out to install the nicest system we've ever had at our home. Why did I choose Bueller? Well, they were and still are locally owned, and their service is immaculate. I mean, they really have the coolest guys in town. Right now, they even have 0% financing available on all new systems. So remember, for AC needs, stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
We want people to feel that when they call Harlan Herald, they're calling Harlan Herald. They're not calling a satellite office or call center or getting an automated phone system. We are with our clients, fighting for our clients, handling the process ourselves, and not asking others to do that for us. I mean, we feel like we made the right decision to be the size that we are, large enough to take on anyone, but small enough to care and really know our clients. Offices, Jacksonville.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hayes Carline here, and I know every Sunday I tell my buddy Tony, look, the Cowboys, they just aren't winning, but he puts his money on them anyways. You know better and pick winners every weekend. So why not get paid for them at MyBookie? Bet single game spreads, money lines, or parlay them together to increase your payouts with MyBookie. Low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won. Make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have fun. Getting started is easy. Visit mybookie.ag and use promo code 1010XL on your first deposit to secure a double deposit bonus up to $1,000. With action like this, MyBookie makes it simple to bet, simple to win, even for my buddy Tony. Make this your winning season exclusively in MyBookie, and don't forget that promo code 1010XL. Get that bonus with MyBookie.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Dropping is Trevor. Looking. Fires corner of the end zone. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown in the back of the end zone. How in the world did Marvin Jones Jr. come down with that thing with Michael Davis draped all over him? Touchdown, Jaguars!
I think the way we played, you can't deny that we're a really good team. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what it says about us. We know who we are. Our only goal on Sunday is to go win the game. And what other people think about us doesn't really matter. Every week we're going to prepare the same way. We're going to be ready to play, and we got a bunch of competitors, so it's been a lot of fun.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah, I see you, Trevor. Hell, I feel you. You kidding me? 38-10?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Frangie with the call. He's like, listen, it's us against the world. It's Duval against the world. Remember 3 weeks ago? People were like, he's not fierce enough. He doesn't have fire in the belly. Well, hell, I asked those questions to Tony Elliott and Dabo Sweeney back in late July, the head coach of Virginia and Clemson, respectively. I mean, I only had 10 to 12 minutes with him, and almost my entire conversation was leadership for Trevor Lawrence. And it was questioned a little bit after week one, because he kind of took it like there's 16 more games. And the fans around here obviously freaked out because you've won 4 in 2 years, and
you're like, if you lose to Washington, then you're gonna lose to the Chargers, and you're gonna lose to the Colts, and that's not exactly what happened.
I probably shouldn't. I'm going to pick Philadelphia this weekend, and I tell you why I'm going to pick Philadelphia. I'm 0-3 on my Jaguar picks. I picked them to win in D.C., and they lost. I picked them to lose here against Indy, and they won. I picked them to lose in Los Angeles. Of course you're going to pick them to lose in Los Angeles. They're 3-15. Lifetime in the Pacific Coast time, and they hadn't won since
Oakland
Oakland.
Game in 2000. 2018.
18 straight losses.
What is that?
Being on the sideline when they came from behind and knocked off Oakland in the final game of the Black Hole was one of the, to me, if I was to rank top 25 moments in Jaguars history, for me personally, not for the team, I would put that one down there because it was just a phenomenal setting with, all those Raider fans who have, all bark, no bite. How about I've actually just checked our text line. You can get us on the text line at 641-1010 brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That a couple of folks have already gotten in and asked me about the idiot fan.
The double bird guy.
To James Robinson. And my response was the same thing that I said yesterday as I was watching the game. It's, why would you risk that? You could end up having those seats taken away from you. You could be thrown out of there for good. I mean, those are plush seats in one of those new luxury boxes.
And the double bird, you probably can't get in trouble for that. But what people didn't really see was after the double bird, James Robinson turns around and is walking back to the field, and the guy tried to hit the ball out of his hand. Did you see that? And he didn't even accomplish it. That was so pathetic. That guy had the worst day ever. So those seats are probably like, I don't know, $500 to $1,000 or whatever they are.
Yeah.
You can't see anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first one I ever saw was Dallas in Jerry's World. They have one that's for the record.
Like a field level suite.
For the record, I still like Jerry's World better. I think that's the most impressive stadium that I've been to. I wasn't at the game yesterday, but I was at that brand new building a year ago when Jacksonville took on the Los Angeles Rams. And it is incredibly impressive, and it's really, most of it is underground. So when you actually look at the building, it's not like a huge skyscraper or something that sticks way out like most big parks, whether it's college or pro. Obviously, the Swamp's built down into the dirt as well, but you would think with new ones, and I guess it had something to do with flight patterns or something to do with the heading to the airport. At least I think that was the story that I was told like a year ago. I wasn't listening all that intently on it, but anyway, that is that. All right, let's get to Trevor Lawrence here. Let's give him a couple of minutes after what we witnessed yesterday. First of all, how about his wide receivers? He threw 3 touchdown passes to 3 different wide receivers. He nearly threw a touchdown pass to Evan Ingram, and we know that went to a review, and he didn't get away with it, but he did catch the 2-point conversion. Last week they talked about Zay Jones getting a little bit more involved because he was so brilliant during training camp. Career high 10 receptions yesterday, 85 yards and a touch. Christian Kirk now 3 touchdowns on the season, earning that paycheck. 6 for 72, an average of 12. Marvin Jones took some big hits. He's clearly the 3rd or 4th option, but still played well. 4 balls, 33 yards and a touch. When you get to Trevor Lawrence and you look at the numbers now, and I spent so much of the offseason talking about Trevor and things that need to improve. And the 2 that I went to more than any were completion percentage and average per attempt. Well, let's look at it right now. As a rookie, Trevor Lawrence completed 59.6% of his passes. I think it was 30th in the NFL. It was awful. Folks, he's improved by nearly 10% in 3 games. He's gone from 59.6% to 69.4%. Let me pull up as well. Let me compare these to other quarterbacks in the NFL. Again, my intent here is to brag on what is happening right now with Trevor Lawrence, but I also want to take into consideration what the other great quarterbacks are doing right now in the league. All right, he's 7th. He's 7th right now in the NFL in complete. He was 30th a year ago. Okay, Geno Smith is 1, which just totally, I feel like Jeffrey Dahmer just inserted some hydrochloric acid into my brain. The fact that you're trying to tell me that it's like Ballou. Get off the numbers, man. It's only week 3. These sample sizes don't add up. I mean, you're bragging about Trevor Lawrence, and you go to the let's go to the facts, and it's Geno Smith who's number 1 at 77.5. My God, Matthew Stafford 72.5, Aaron Rodgers 72.3, Tua 71.3, Josh Allen 71.2, Danny Dimes who goes tonight 70.9, and there you go, Trevor Lawrence. 69.4%.
I mean, you take away Geno and
Danny Dimes.
He only has 2 games, but you take away them 2, and that's where you want to be at.
Yeah, we'll see what Danny does tonight against Dallas.
Doubt
okay,
he keeps that up.
The other big number that I always mention, and I don't think it gets discussed enough, is your average per pass attempt. Last year, he was dead last. He was 32nd in the NFL, 6 yards on average. This year, he's got it up an entire yard. He's gone from 6 yards to 7 yards. So let's look at the average there. He is tied for 15th. Okay? Not perfect. Can absolutely get better. The top in the league right now is Jalen Hurts, so they'll face this weekend at 9-3. Then it's Tua at 9-2, and then it's Lamar Jackson at 8-5. Still a little bit of work to do there, but it's significant improvement. He's gone from 6 yards to 7 yards if you look at average per. All right, couple of the other numbers. 772 yards so far, 77 for 111. Again, the completion percentage up 10% at 69.4. This man a year ago threw 12 touchdown passes and had 17 interceptions. In 3 games, he already has 6 touches. He's only turned the ball over once, and we know it was a very bad mistake in D.C. We talked about it ad nauseum, but that's it. Okay? He's only been sacked twice all year. The offensive line is doing what needs to be done so far. And, there was a little bit of complaint. There was some that were getting after the O-line when they did lose in D.C., but the last 2 weeks, they have been absolutely spectacular. Finally, the last number for Trevor Lawrence, his overall quarterback rating as a rookie was 71.9. Okay, it was one of the worst in the NFL. It was in the latter 20s. So far this year, in 3 games, he's gone from 71.9 to 103.1. Let's look that up as far as what he is right now in the NFL. He is 6th in the NFL, behind only Lamar, Tua, Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. He's putting together some fantastic numbers, and he deserves all the credit that he is getting. Also, I want to wrap with this before I come back. Last week, talked about the 2 team issues that really needed to improve offensively. 3rd down conversion rate and red zone touchdown percentage. Okay, let me find it. Last week, we had it down for you. They, on 3rd down, were one of the worst in the NFL. Okay? Let's see. I don't know why I can't find it right now. Anyway, I'll look for it during the break. But it has improved dramatically in a year, but it still wasn't where you wanted it to be as far as 3rd down. It has certainly gotten better the last couple of weeks. And, yesterday's performance, 8 of 15. That's better than 50%. I want to say they were around 33% entering the game. So that has moved up. If you look at where Jacksonville is now, let me give you this before I bounce out.
Right now.
In 3rd down conversion rate.
Yeah, they're 40. So they've made 40.48%. And that puts only Green Bay, New England, Cincinnati, Washington, Cleveland, Rams, Miami, Seattle, Philly, and, of course, Buffalo. Buffalo, whoa. So everybody else is around like 48 to around where Jacksonville is at 40 in that list. The Bills at number 1, 61%.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not surprised. Buffalo, and even though they let one get away yesterday, and what was a a very entertaining football game. No question about it. Let me find those numbers. That's bothering the heck out of me. I'm usually, and again, this only happens when they win because the desk gets cluttered. Everything kind of gets messed up when Jacksonville is winning games. Again, if they're losing games, I would have had that number right in front of my face. It would have been right there. It would have been unavoidable. Okay,
probably would have memorized.
Oh my God, I would have had it down. But when the team starts winning games, everything gets scattered, okay? And you're looking for stuff. You're like, damn it, Ballou. You spent all day getting prepared for the show. How do you not have what their third down conversion rate was after 2 games? How did you not have? And I didn't. But again, it's because this team's winning, all right? And that's the way life should be. Your thoughts are scattered right now. When we do return, more on that. A couple of other places I want to take you with this football team. Let's hear as well. Let's hear from Juwan Taylor, for crying out loud. The guy's playing great football. And, I feel you that there's a little bit of it's in a contract year, but he's playing as well as you could possibly ask. Also, Doug Peterson as well. We have all that coming up as we go into the night along with JJ. My name's Rick Ballou.
We got a whole season, and I really love the guys we got in that locker room.
There's a buzz on the First Coast.
This group is eager to win. They want to win.
It's a second straight week on the road, and the Jags hope to bring back the momentum in Philly. Jaguars, Eagles, Sunday on 1010XL. Proud flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nurses take extraordinary care of us during what is often the most difficult and trying times in one's life. We often take for granted the service and sacrifice of these first responders. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. If you are a nurse and currently face investigation or complaint under the Florida Nurse Practice Act, you are not alone. Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000 for a consultation and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hey, did you know you can watch the UFC fights with no cover charge at Mr. Chubby's Wings?
No cover charge for UFC? That's what I call fighting inflation.
They really are. $12 domestic buckets, $10 domestic pitchers, $8 lunches with a drink, and $5 kids meals.
So the best prices in town and UFC fights with no cover charge? Let's chub it up.
Don't pay too much to have a good time. Fleming Island, the West Side, and Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings. Before the game, after the game, and during the game.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, how does a diamond or piece of jewelry have its price authenticated by an independent appraisal?
Frank, simply put, there's a difference between a selling price and an appraisal value. In the estate and auction business, you almost always see a new replacement price put on an old used piece. But when you have a new piece with a higher replacement price, you have to wonder why somebody would sell you something for a lot less than it's worth, unless maybe it's not worth what they said. Let me tell you a story about what happened at Underwoods the other day. We were putting into stock a 1-carat diamond that had an EGL report on it. When we opened the report, we found a separate appraisal for the diamond by the Universal Gemological Services, which, by the way, is owned by that laboratory. They appraised the diamond loose for $7,230, which we found interesting because the diamond was in our stock at $5,100. I can honestly say that diamond wouldn't sell anywhere for $7,230, so that type of appraisal is worthless.
That's Underwoods, where they make it a point to know the truth about diamonds and jewelry at San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Your time is valuable. Say goodbye to tire shops and waiting rooms. Go Mobile Tires is a mobile tire business that comes to where you live, work, or play. We match anyone's price on tires, and our trained technicians mount and balance tires, program TPMS sensors, and repair tires. We provide nitrogen for free. Check us out on the web at gomotires.com or call us at 904-907-0999. On the web at gomotires.com or 904-907-0999.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them a solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reese Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reese Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like.
Customers always win with Roland Reese Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 26, 1978, New York District Judge Constance Baker Motley rules that women sports writers cannot be banned from locker rooms.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Duval, it's time to Q-Vol. Q Barbecue Fest Jacksonville returns to TIAA Bank Field November 19th and 20th with beer, bands, barbecue, and more. Don't miss this chance to grab an ice-cold brew and sample pure smoked bliss from more than 9 award-winning pitmasters cooking up 30,000 pounds of meat. Fun for the whole family with general admission grounds passes and all-you-can-eat VIP pit passes. Parking is free. Tickets and info at QBBQJacksonville.com.
Hey sports fans, this is Ultimate Vegas Insider John Anthony, and I'm on fire. To prove it, I'm releasing my Monday Night Report exclusively on the recorded message line. Monday nights 25-9 last 2 years, that's 74% winners. I'm red hot. Call 1-800-808-3481. Dallas, New York is a lock. The total to parlay, Thursday and Saturday's early release, John Anthony has you covered. We go 5-0 over the season free. 1-800-808-3481. Information wins. John Anthony Sports, #1 against the spread. I'll prove it. Dallas, New York is a lock. Win the side. Win the total. Parlays and teasers cash in. A $200 player wins $3,000 this week. Recorded message 1-800-808-3481. Dallas, New York, plus Thursday and Saturday early release. 1-800-808-3481. That's 1-800-808-3481. Or go to johnanthonysports.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, I was lucky enough yesterday to watch the game with Derek and Susan, and let me tell you something right now. 2 huge Jags fans. Of course, Derek trucks from Jacksonville. Susan, much like yours truly, from Boston, but she is a converted Jaguars fan. And their new LP, their new album is broken up in 4 different parts, and we've had them on the program, and they release 7 songs monthly. Well, they're getting ready to. They're going to fly a day earlier because of the hurricane, but they're going to leave tomorrow now, and they're getting ready to set up shop at the Beacon Theater in New York. And I got with Derek because we've been playing some golf, and he's like, "Come on by, for the game on Sunday." I'm like, "All right." So their rehearsal pregame, they did rehearsal during halftime, and then they did rehearsal deep into the night last night. And I want to tell you something. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. And I have seen Derek and Susan with their band rehearse before, but everyone was there yesterday. 2 drummers, bassist, percussion. You had 3 or 4 different people on horns. If you look at the flute, the saxophone, the trumpet. They had Mike Madison, who is also, one of their lead singers, a kid out of Harvard, big Minnesota fan. He was happy that the Vikings were able to come back and win that game. Playing what word am I looking for here? Rhythm guitar. Okay. And then Susan and Derek. So I think they had 13, 14 people.
So do they, before they go out and perform, they fly them all to Jack's, and then from here they all leave.
Right.
That's got to be, that's expensive, man. That's a big band.
Well, they care about their product.
Yeah.
And they had all the tech guys there. Okay.
By the way, show me a video of the studio. Epic.
Yeah.
Massive.
I just brought a picture. I'm not going to send out any out of respect for them, because the reason why they're having a rehearsal is they're going to play 7 new songs live. So
they just play the whole
instead
album.
of just winging it in the day of it. No. They were going in and out and doing all sorts of different things. I mean, I was witnessing them working on starting and finishing songs. I can't even explain to you how
it's like a football team.
How incredible it. You know what? In a lot of ways, it is. We watch football teams. We come in here all the time. We talk about, James Robinson. He's running straight. James Robinson today's began cutting. James Robinson today, we witnessed him catch some footballs. James Robinson today, we actually saw him on the big bag doing some pass protection drills. James Robinson today, finally doing some individual drills. James Robinson today, for the first time, doing some team drills. Yeah, you see, it's the same thing musically where they're sounding some stuff out. And
I love
that. But they're just like everyone else here in town. Those are two genuine, huge Jaguar fans. And I actually met Derek through his dad, Chris, and I sat with him yesterday as well. And Chris was a legendary old friend with my buddy who passed, the Godfather, Jim Kane. And just a great day over there. And, Susan and Derek, their son Charlie goes to Florida State. They're huge Florida State fans. So what a weekend. Stress-free weekend for the Tedeschi Trucks family.
Usually
with
the
Florida
complete
State
opposite of my halftime experience. My halftime experience is like, go to the bathroom, make another drink, hit the bowl, like sit on the couch. You're with like an orchestra, and it's just taking in amazing music.
Man.
We do have some breaking hurricane news. Speaking of hurricane
Ian. Is in the Miami Hurricanes or weather?
Fortunately, we're not talking about the Miami Hurricanes. This is Ian.
Mm-hmm.
This is Adam Schefter. He says the Bucs are evacuating Tampa on Tuesday afternoon and will spend the week practicing at the Dolphins practice facility. The NFL will continue to monitor whether the Bucs and Chiefs can play in Tampa on Sunday night. Since the Dolphins are playing on Thursday, it makes it a lot easier for everyone. So Tampa's gone.
Tampa's out. There's a lot of question about Tallahassee this weekend.
Big game.
Reportedly, campus is going to be closed, I think, Thursday, Friday, maybe even Wednesday as well. But they're going to close campus. And, they commented on it today, but we'll know more as we get a little bit later into the week. I don't know what to make of it. My understanding is around here we're going to be okay. I mean, there's going to be some rain, there's going to be some wind, but I guess you never know. I mean, the eye of the storm can always change. I've never I'm not proud of it. I've never been one who overreacts to this type of thing. I just haven't. The worst I've ever seen was the blizzard of 78, which took about 30 Bostonians caught in their cars or whatever, and they just couldn't make it back. One of the worst storms we had ever seen. But as far as hurricanes, I know that there's been some. It felt like Jacksonville always missed hurricanes. You know what I mean? Kind of tucked in until a few years ago.
It's on the coast, but it's sort of tucked in compared to the rest of the East Coast.
Well, that changed a few years ago.
Which I never actually lost power that whole time. Crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Hopefully nothing.
I got some really good friends. I just did a Jimerson spot, Jimerson Burr, man. Charlie and his family. There was some incredible destruction. So people react differently. I know my GF was in the store today. She went and she's like, there's no water, there's no toilet paper, there's no batteries. I've never been one to just freak about it, but I'm not telling you how to react. You can never be too safe and too sure in situations like this. The conversion rate went from 33.3% last week, 9-27 for the Jaguars, who were 21st in the NFL, now to 17-42. That's over 40%. As JJ pointed out, they've moved up to 11th in the NFL. So the numbers just continue to grow totally in favor of what Jacksonville has done. And, that is very encouraging. I don't think there's any question about it. All right, the NFL as a whole, and I am going to get back to the Jaguars, and I'm certainly going to get to some college football coming up here. But what about the NFL? What a crazy weekend. I mean, Buffalo and Kansas City both lost. Tampa lost, but that was against a very good opponent and just a dreadful game, a low-scoring game. But who had Indianapolis knocking off Kansas City? Who had Tennessee knocking off the Raiders after what we just saw with them? Who had Miami with the whole Tua situation come back to knock off the Bills? I mean, weren't there people already handing out the Lombardi Trophy after week 2 to the Buffalo Bills?
Anyone but the Bills, it seems to have worked.
Mm-hmm.
No longer in first place in the East. By the way, they ran 90 plays to the Dolphins, like 35 or something like that. Still took the L.
That was a little bit like your game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Especially in the first half. Middle Tennessee ran like 18
they
plays.
Had like a pick six, a 99-yard touchdown, a 60-yard touchdown. It was,
So
didn't need the ball.
This division, the AFC South, we were all talking about it last week. There was only 1 out of 4 teams with a victory, and that was Jacksonville. Well, of course, they win again on Sunday. They're actually tied for the second-best overall record in the NFL. Now, there's a host of teams there: Kansas City, Denver, Cleveland, Baltimore,
Bears,
and Buffalo. Yeah, I'm talking AFC. but Jacksonville right now is 2-1, and if you look at the AFC, they are second to only Buffalo in point differential. When is the last time this organization has been in a conversation about point differential? I talk about it all the time. Last year, this team put up a porous, a franchise low, 14.9 points a game. Okay? They gave up 26.9 a game. There was an average of 12 points a game as far as the difference between the offense and the defense. Are you ready for what is going on so far for the 2022 Jacksonville Jaguars? They have gone from 14.9 points a game to 28 points a game. Okay? They have gone from 26.9 points a game allowed to 12.7 points allowed. The difference right now is more than 15%. Okay? 15%. They're minus 12 a year ago. They're plus 15 this year. You're trying to tell me that's a difference of more than 27 points a game is their plus-minus ratio from 2021. Absolutely incredible to see what the Jaguars have done 3 weeks in. All right, there's a lot more work to do. Obviously, going to Philadelphia, you're going to learn an awful lot. There's a very good football team. And, we're certainly going to speak more on that as we move throughout the course of the week. Win or lose, I don't think there's a Jaguar fan alive who would have looked at these first 4 games and not taken an even split at 2 apiece, okay? I would like to say that things get a little bit easier after that, but as we pointed out, just look at what happened yesterday, okay? What Tennessee did to the Las Vegas Raiders, what Indianapolis did to Kansas City. And, even Houston lost by a field goal on the road in Chicago. So all of a sudden the AFC South, much better than they were a week ago. We know that after going to Philly, you host Houston, then you go to Indy, and then you have the Giants here, and you go to London to take on the Denver Broncos. I watched that game last night. There was some really bad NFL football played this weekend.
In general, this season, the offense in the NFL is down. Like every game is down at least a touchdown in scoring or something like that.
Yeah.
From a Jags perspective, really annoying that the Colts ended up, really annoying that the Titans ended up winning. Like the Colts game especially, yes, they went on that long 8-yard, pretty epic drive, but if you watched it, they got stopped.
Yep.
And there would have been a long 4th down. They would have punted, but instead there was a dumb penalty that it was like after the play, excessive taunting or whatever it was.
It was a horrible play. Yeah.
It was so bad, and that ended up getting the drive going, and they kept the ball the entire game.
Well, here's all you need to know. Okay, Jacksonville's 2-1, Indy's 1-1, Tennessee 1-2, Houston 0-2-1. But if you dive deeper into the numbers, and you know we love to do that here during Into the Night, point differential: Jacksonville plus 46, Indianapolis minus 21, Tennessee minus 33, Houston minus 10. So I know all you need to do in this league is win by 1 point. Okay? But it's a week-to-week process, and that's what it's all about. It's just really so hard to try to figure all of this out because the NFL right now, I mean, road teams are winning at an all-time high. Underdogs are winning at an all-time high. If you just look in the division, we know that Jacksonville goes to Philly, and that line opened at 7. There's been some early Jacksonville number. I see 6.5 right now. I see the total at 48.5. If you look within the division this weekend, you have a matchup in Indianapolis between Tennessee and Indy. Indy favored by 3 at home. The Titans 1-2, and again, Indy 1-1. And Houston will play host now to the injured Chargers. All right? Slater gone for the year. That was announced today with torn biceps. And we'll have to see about Bosa and some of these other guys. LA still favored by 5 on the road, but I think a lot of people will, or some people at least, will probably get on Houston here to cover the point spread, maybe even win the game. So, you know, that's the latest there within the AFC South. All right, let's get ready for hour number 2. Plenty on the Jags, and I do appreciate everything I'm getting on the text line, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. If you want to continuously send me stuff there, we're going to get through it during our second hour. Also got to get to some college football because it was a very interesting weekend in college ball, so we need to do that as well. Coming up in our second hour. It's great to have you with us, along with JJ. I'm Rick Ballou. This is the home of the Jags.
There must be a reason it's called football.
All you got to do is put your foot right through the ball.
Listen for the special teams player of the game.
And this kick is good!
Brought to you by the urological specialists at McKeever Clinic on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of certified vehicles to choose from, starting as low as $89.99, and they come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile peace of mind warranty. That means it'll still be under warranty when you can drive. Plus, every purchase allows us to fund teachers' projects the entire school year. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. Your deadline is September 30th. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Northeast Florida Safety Council has been keeping Jacksonville safe for 80 years. I'm Dominic Whitley, EHS Director. Whether your organization is large or small, we're a nonprofit that provides the safety services you need to take the worry out of compliance. Benefits of membership include free phone consultation and safety walkthrough, free or discounted online and instructor-led training courses, new hire and vendor orientation services, and much more. For more on becoming a member, visit nefsc.org.
Mike Dempsey here with a serious message. The bill is passed and the IRS is increasing collection enforcement. Accelerated Tax Solutions has implemented the zero-wait tax hotline to help you know what these changes mean to you and your family. I've met their local legal team led by an experienced tax attorney. They're ready to consult with you over the phone right away. Like I said, a zero-wait tax hotline. Call today, 652-0000. That's 652-0000 for Accelerated Tax Solutions.
Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been around since 1985. Jax's trusted John's Auto, whether you need routine maintenance or an engine overhaul. John's Auto, they can do it all. We service all makes and models of cars and trucks and even work on diesels. I've been visiting them since I returned to Jacksonville in 2006. Check them out today. John's Auto on Arlington Road, 904-743-3857.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
ITP Partners, the official financial firm for the station to beat inflation.
Whoa, Dan. People don't want to joke about their money, not during these tough times.
You mean they'd rather hear about how ITP Partners takes our money and makes us more money?
Now you're talking. They make financial planning simple and easy to understand, even for a couple of slappies like us.
Those guys have been serving Hickets for 3 generations. Junie Bug, me. I even got my son Drew being smart with his money in his 20s.
It's never too early to talk with Chris Bryan, Dan Abel, Brian Wright, Reagan Wright, Jeff Hartman, and Craig Ross.
Financial questions, ideas, or thoughts, email chris@itppartners.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000.
Everybody thinks the competition, which the competition definitely helped, but also my dad passed in January, so I've just been trying to dedicate the season for my dad. So just going out there, just trying to get better every week and help my team win games.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Juwan Taylor met with the media today after the Jaguars' 38-10 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. What if it really did take these two tackles a long period of time to get things going? I mean, this could end up being one of the great surprises. And obviously they have spent money on Cam Robinson. They franchised him and then they extended him. And I'm never going to back away from something I said before. I wouldn't have done it. Okay? Trent Baalke did. And right now, Trent Baalke, you talk about a zero to hero. And a guy who, I mean, there's going to be a round of applause for Trent Baalke. And I'm careful about this because, things can change in a split second in athletics, particularly when it comes to injuries. But if you look at what moves he has made, free agency and the NFL draft the last couple of years, especially this year, it's all coming together. But again, it is a tad bit premature. I've said many times there's no way I'm extending Juwan Taylor. And I'm nervous that he's playing well during a contract year. I think that has to be part of the thought process here. But you got to give the man credit for the job that he is doing. He is playing outstanding football right now. Let's play number 2 here because we were just talking about it during the break, and you can see it on TV. You can see it if you're at home and at the game in person. It looks bizarre at times because it looks like Juwan Taylor is jumping the gun here. He's getting back into his pass. It's only on pass plays. He's getting back into his pass protection. It feels like a split second before the ball is actually snapped. He was asked about that this afternoon.
It's just being on the road, man. I got a different center this year, so I've just been trying to work it in practice. But, yeah, I mean, to the naked eye, it could look like I'm false starting, but I'm just timing it up to get off the same time the ball being snapped. So, playing tackle, you got to be able to get out the ball with urgency. These edge rushers are coming out the ball very fast. So, as much as I can get out the ball as fast as I can, I do it. It's not really the ends. It's mainly the coaches. Like, I even seen a video with Pete Carroll last year when we was playing Seattle was saying something about it. But, it's not too bad.
All right, so there you have it. Answers your question. I mean, on the road, you can do things a little bit differently, right? You can actually watch for the ball to be snapped, or you can rely on the cadence, and when it's going to be called. And that's why with the offensive line, it's always about those, it's always the C words: contusion, camaraderie, continuity, chemistry. And if you go back, Cam had been there. You brought in a totally new left guard. Initially, it was Shatley, who's been primarily a center. Then you went to Barge, and he didn't grade out particularly well, but it appears that this football team is sticking with him. A rookie in Fortner, a brand-new right guard who's a beast. I mean, not going to take him long. His pull yesterday, going from the right side to the left side on James Robinson, on 4th and 1, that 50-yard touchdown. I mean, that entire offensive line.
He was untouched.
That looked like the Hogs. I mean, I've been yelling around here about, how I'm an offensive line guy, and I yelled about let's build the Great Wall of Duval. And, that really came in the doubt, especially when Walker Little didn't win the job. You're thinking, my gosh, you got holes at center, you got holes at left guard, you got holes at right tackle. Well, it's not working out that way. This team is gelling, and they're playing very well. So they certainly do deserve credit for that. Juwan Taylor, you don't have to do anything right now. Let him play this thing out. Let James Robinson, who's restricted, the Jaguars have an opportunity, allow him to play this thing out. I'm not going to overpay for a running back. It's nothing personal. It's nothing about the position. I mean, it's nothing about the player. It's only about the position. This is a position that is not valued. James Robinson looks better right now than he did a year ago. He looks faster than he did a year ago. I never dreamed that I would come back after his injury, after the Achilles tendon, and come back here and say, it looks to me like James Robinson has more wiggle and more burst. He showed it last week with the 37-yarder. He showed it, no one was near him yesterday during the 50-yarder. But James Robinson, all of a sudden, I mean, the man is eating, and he's going to get a big payday if he is able to stay healthy, and I'm happy that is the case. I'm also very happy about the Florida State Seminoles. My goodness. I mean, totally, absolutely, completely stress-free. That was the situation for Florida State in front of a packed house on a Saturday night. It's been a long time since they have sold out that particular venue, and it just looked electrifying. It began with the Benson kick return for 7, and, they're forcing turnovers. Some of these younger players, man, they really look the part. All of a sudden, there's a lot of athleticism when you look at Benson and you look at the former walk-on and Trayshawn Ward. You look at Portier, who's 6'3", can go up and get a ball. They didn't even go to Johnny Wilson all that much after he had the spectacular game 2 weeks ago. Still, though, he's absolutely athletic. We got an opportunity to see Darian Williamson before he went out with the injury, and that was certainly promising. Jordan Travis, career high, 321 yards. They got him out of there midway through the third quarter and went to Rodemaker, who got a nice ovation. He deserved it. Everyone who was cheering for him Saturday night there was dead wrong, just like I was when you saw him come out to begin the second half at Louisville. A.J. Duffy got a little bit of burn. And then you look at their linebackers, man. These are the fastest linebackers that I have seen at Florida State in I don't know how long. Tatum Bethune, Kalen DeLoach, Brandon Gant, the former safety, who they've converted now to linebacker. Here's the problem. You realize Florida State's entire defensive line is hurt? They went into this game without Lovett. They went into this game without Verse. Ray started for Lovett. He went out with an injury. Robert Cooper came out with an injury. You had McClendon on the other edge who came out with an injury. So for non-Florida State fans, I can feel you. You're saying, hey, Ballou, you just talked about how shut up with the Chargers. They have all these injuries. That's the league. Now here you are making an excuse for Florida State because it's Demon Deacon weekend. the Demon Deacon. Who is it?
They own you guys, though.
I know. Listen, they went into double overtime with Clemson.
That game was epic.
Sam Hartman can spin it. 6 touchdowns. And, Clemson's front seven is NFL all over it. Man, their secondary, a lot of warts. They give up a lot of yards and a lot of big plays. Back to Florida State, that's an issue. I mean, those guys have got to get healthy. You're now, I think Wake is one spot ahead of them. If you look at the rankings, Florida State ranked for the first time in a long time. They come in at number 23. But you look at the next 3 weeks, okay? You have 22nd ranked Wake coming in, and we have no idea. I mean, there's going to be mind games all week because you don't know if this game is going to be played. You don't know what they're going to do. Even if it is played, you know that there's not going to be a sizable home field advantage when there's a hurricane going on. You're not going to have a sold-out venue like you did this past Saturday night. I think people all across the state are like, no. I mean, I'm hunkering down in my homestead with my family. I'm sorry. I can't go to a football game. I have a feeling that's going to be the case, unless they're just dead wrong with the hurricane. And even if they are dead wrong, we've already talked about Tampa, right? I mean, you got all these other places across the country where people make the track to Tallahassee, and I don't think that will be the case. So anyway, the game here against Wake, then you go to NC State next week. They're 4-0. Devin Leary's been taking some guff. He's not putting up the numbers. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Well, he had a real good game this past Saturday. I want to say he threw for 4 touchdowns.
They have a huge game before y'all. They play Clemson this week.
And then Florida State has Clemson next week. So what's nice about this is I watched this game in its entirety on Saturday. You had Wake and Clemson, their next opponent, and then in the case of Clemson, their opponent 3 games down the road. Same deal with what's going on this Saturday as Florida State has Wake. You have this matchup between NC State and Clemson, who will be the 2 opponents that they do face in the next couple of weeks. And I want to say Clemson is not idle. They go to Boston College next week. So that's good. I hate it when teams get the extra week off before you take them on.
Well,
when they get 2
BC, it
weeks to
looks like
prepare.
BC sort of is a bye week. They're so bad this year.
They got a lot of problems. That's another team that's absolutely injured on the offensive line.
Where do you think Florida State looks just, eye test-wise compared to Clemson? They're right up there to me.
I think they can beat them if their defensive line gets healthy. I
So
do.
They have 3 weeks.
I thought this was a 6-6 team. They're 4-0. And we're going to know an awful lot in the next 3 weeks.
31-0 at halftime.
I know.
Epic.
They just completely dominated BC. I mean, it wasn't. It was
over from literally the first kickoff.
It was unlike things that I've seen in a very long time over there. And what is different is how athletic this football team is, and they also appear to really be buying in. Okay. They're playing hard for Mike Norvell. They're playing hard for this staff. You look at some of these younger defensive backs. The kid out of Lake City, Shaheem Brown, who blocked the PAT against LSU, made big plays. We got more of an opportunity to see who was the corner who missed last week's game, came back in and did some pretty good things for Florida State. I can't think of his name right. I think it was Cooper. Cooper in the defensive backfield, not Derek Cooper.
Marion Cooper.
Yeah, Marion Cooper did some nice things. You look at the true freshman, and Azari Thomas did some nice things. Some of the transfers, even Greedy Vance, who was like third on the depth chart at one of the corners, came in and played well. So you're starting to see some of these younger guys, and it just appears that they really do have the ability to come in and hopefully change this program. And, Florida State finally got some pretty good recruits last week. Got a great linebacker out of California and got a very talented wide receiver out of Fort Lauderdale. I mean, if you look at I went back and I read the recruiting classes late on Saturday night, and I was like, man, they're just not getting any production out of the 2020 class and 2021 class. I mean, very little production out of those classes. But they're getting certainly a lot of good work out of the transfer portal players, and that's encouraging, but you don't want to have to lean on that forever. You've got to start. It's just like the draft here for the Jaguars. I mean, it's no secret that we're seeing these draft picks really emerge, okay? It's the same thing in college football. Transfer portal's nice, and it can help you, but you need to bring in true freshmen and keep them around. Patrick Payton's another guy I want to mention. 245 pounds, 250 pounds, soaking wet, coming off the edge, doing some nice things for Florida State over the weekend. All right, when we come back, you want to comment on the Noles? You certainly can. Do you want to talk about the Gators? Do you want to talk about the Canes? Also want to get to your questions. There's a lot out there to choose from. Most of them are on the Jaguars. If you want to get there, you can. 641-1010. What about on YouTube? What's going on there?
Not a lot of comment tonight, but we have some listeners. We have some watchers. All you have to do, go to our 1010XL YouTube page. Go to the first screen you see. It's in red. It says Into the Night with Rick Ballou. Click on it. We have, I owe Trent Baalke an apology. JJ doesn't get any YouTube time. No, I don't, unfortunately. You don't want to see me.
Why don't we turn it over to you for a segment?
He says, or is he locked in the safe room after the Miami game?
I have no problem with that. Why don't we turn that YouTube over to you for a segment and see if our YouTube audience grows, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I'll take my shirt off.
There you go. He is JJ. I am Rick Ballou. It's great to have you with us. This is the way things are. Tomorrow night after Helmets and Heels, Wednesday night 6 to 8. We expect to be at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra Beach 6 to 8 on Thursday. And Friday, we will be with you from 3 to 6 on the AM only. All right? I will be with you during the pregame of Jaguars football coming up on Sunday from 8 to 10 along with Gibby. So look
That's
forward to
early
doing that
for
as
you.
well. Oh, my God, that's going to have a major effect on my Saturday night partying.
That's a shame.
You know, there'll be no partying for me at all. You figure I got to get up at what, 6:30 or so, and make our way over here. But I love it. Hey, Jaguars are winning games. You kidding me? Absolutely, I love it. All right, much more to do. We're with you tonight till 8. Then Hacker takes over.
1010XL brings the swamp to the first coast.
ETN falls ahead. Touchdown, Gators!
The Gators welcome Eastern Washington. Kickoff at noon. Pre-game coverage starts at 10. On Jacksonville's home of Florida Gators football. 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Josh Scobie here to tell you about Eastern Roofing Company. Are you in the process of selling your home and are being required by home inspectors or an insurance company to replace your roof? The team at Eastern Roofing is here to get the job done. They can get your roof done fast with no money paid until the sale of your home. Don't miss out on a sale because of your problems with your roof. Call Eastern Roofing today at 775-ROOF or visit easternroofing.com. Eastern Roofing Company. Service with integrity.
Hurry into the Energy Savings Event at Lowe's. Save energy and save money on select major appliances, including Whirlpool energy-efficient appliances. You can also save with the Smart Thermostat. Right now, select Google Nest Learning thermostats are $60 off. Plus, find other great energy-saving items throughout the store and check your eligibility for rebates in your area to save even more. Don't miss the Energy Savings Event at Lowe's. Selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. Visit Lowe's.com for details. Valid through 9/28.
Hi, this is Travis Cummings of the Bailey Group, and I specialize in working with medium and large companies to ensure their employees get the best benefits possible.
This is Steve Zona from the Fraternal Order of Police, and we work tirelessly to ensure the safety and well-being of all the citizens of Jacksonville. Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group make sure all of our officers have the same peace of mind with their benefits.
Businesses on the First Coast. Call me, Travis Cummings, at 461-1800, and I'll make sure your employees are well taken care of.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic or circling the lot looking for a place to park? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to TIAA Bank Field is on the JTA Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 4 convenient locations around Jacksonville, including the Kings Avenue parking garage on the South Bank. Tickets start at just $10 and are available exclusively on the Token Transit mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 26, 1978, New York District Judge Constance Baker Motley rules that women sports writers cannot be banned from locker rooms.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Leon Searcy here for Famous Automotive and Quick Lube. When I need trusted repairs for my ride, I go to the place known for hospitality, fair pricing, and a sense of urgency. That's Famous Automotive and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
It's time to celebrate with our best deal of the year. It's the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration. If you're looking to move into a brand new Lennar home with everything included, the best time is right now with up to $50,000 your way. Use it towards closing costs, price reductions, HOA fees. Use it your way. Single-family homes, townhomes, active adult communities. Whatever you're looking for in a brand new home, find it right now with our best deal of the year. Save up to $50,000 your way right now during the 8th annual Lennar year-end celebration.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Monday Night Football coming up. And we talked about last week at one point, really the lack of rivalries in the NFL. It's really the only thing you can point at and say, what's up? Everything else hand over fist. I mean, you can't compare the rivalries in the NFL compared to rivalries of college football and, frankly, the NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball, in my opinion. Tonight, pretty decent rivalry, however. Dallas at New York. That, of course, being the Giants. New York favored by a point. Total 38.5. Let's get to the very latest. I'm going to give you the results tomorrow. But I believe in the Bet Against Ballou segment, I think I got 10 wrong and 6 right, which means I would have cleared another $4,000 or so. I'm going to do the math and go through everything and have it for you tomorrow. I just didn't get to it today, but it's staggering the amount of money that it has allegedly been made here because it's all fiction. But that's what I'm doing. I'm betting against myself. So I'm picking a team, then betting against the team I pick. I will take tonight. I've got to take I got to take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas plus a point in New York. I just think they're a better football team.
Fade
right
that,
now.
people.
New York right now knocked off Tennessee 21-20. A very gutty effort. I watched that entire game. The one against Carolina, I didn't watch hardly at all. Okay, a 19-16 winner.
Well, you missed a long LaVisca Chenault touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was inactive the first two games.
And he
went like 50 yards.
60, yeah, and he broke a tackle, and then most speed I've ever seen from that guy. Josh Oliver with a touchdown this weekend as well.
Really?
Yeah.
For Baltimore.
First career NFL touchdown.
And I watched most of that game.
It was towards the end, I believe.
Yeah. I must have, flipped over to or turned the volume up during the 1 o'clock games before I made the way over.
The Patriots
said
sure
earlier.
look bad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're not a good football team.
No.
They absolutely are not a good football team. All right, hey, listen, let's talk some college ball here. Florida, Tennessee. Man, it's too bad you wasted a great effort from Anthony Richardson, man. The guy threw for 453 yards. You had success running the ball, particularly with Anthony. Your backs didn't average what I thought they would with Etienne and Johnson. As a matter of fact, Wright got as much burn as Johnson. Combined, you had, 24 carries out of the three backs, and you averaged, somewhere over 3 yards per, which was a disappointment. Hendon Hooker's a really good football player, and Tennessee just appeared to be the better team on Saturday. I cannot believe that they allowed the late touchdown, the onside kick, and then you got into a scenario where Richardson could throw for what would have been a game-winning Hail Mary. I do credit Tennessee for creating some pressure there and being able to get to him before they threw the football. The problem right now for Florida is this. I mean, they can't stop the run. That front seven, even with Ventrell Miller back, they can't do anything. I mean, Hooker went for 112. Small went for 90 in this game. Overall, 42 carries, 227 yards. It's a great win for Tennessee because that's an organization, that's a football team that needed one so desperately after losing 16 times in 17 games to Florida. For the Gators, this is part of a year one with Billy Napier, and this is part of a rebuild. I think the biggest question that you are facing right now is Anthony Richardson. How much better is he going to get? And during these coin toss type of games, which way is it going to go? Because if I'm a Gator fan right now, the biggest concern that I have is whether or not Richardson actually returns next year. Now, we know what Mel Kiper is doing. We know what Todd McShay is doing. And, after week 1, we were talking about the Heisman with Anthony Richardson. I've been a longtime Heisman Trophy voter, and I got to admit that performance against Utah, I was like, whoa, that's impressive. And then he was just terrible the next 2 weeks. But that's where I'm at right now for the University of Florida is what do you want? And I know we go back and forth with quarterbacks. I mean, just look at the quarterbacks around here. You did it with Trevor after week 1. Now you've seen him grow. Jordan Travis used to get ripped all the time. Anthony Richardson getting ripped. Look at down where you're at. They actually sat down Van Dyke and went to Garcia in this game.
And he should have been sat down way before he actually did get sat down. Excuse me.
But the best part about Garcia during that game, I don't know if you remember this, maybe you were disgruntled and left the tube, but it was like in the fourth quarter when he signaled to the fans to quiet down.
Oh, my God. There's like 10 people there.
I'm like, bro, there's 500 people at the game.
If you can't call out the play now, you never will. Wait till he goes to, like, Blacksburg.
I'm like, Jake Garcia's trying to quiet the home fans. There's no one there. I'm like, what's going on?
Sadly, I think he's probably the best quarterback on the team right now.
Well, I sat down with Van Dyke. All the right things were said about this guy. The year he had a season ago, and it just felt like it was really going to take off. A lot of people forget that the only game that Miami lost in their last, 6 was Florida State. They won 5 of their last 6.
Yeah, didn't play a bowl.
Yep. And so they had a little bit of momentum here. But, in this game between Miami and Middle Tennessee State, the one thing that I could not believe was that Middle Tennessee State was the far more physical football team.
And they got no push on the offensive line. They, as in Miami, could get no push from the O-line. So here's how the game started. You missed the first quarter. So Miami throws 2 interceptions in their own, basically at their own goal line, back-to-back to start the game. One was a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like immediately
by a defensive
down.
lineman.
Yeah. He tipped it to himself. Miami gets back into it because they bring the backup quarterback in. So right before the fourth quarter is about to start, Miami's at like the 1-yard line. They could punch it in, go down 7 right before the fourth quarter starts, and undoubtedly win from there. You know?
Yeah.
Instead, they get stopped on 4 straight plays, give the ball back, and then Middle Tennessee scores a 99-yard touchdown to go up 21.
It was
crazy.
It was a 100-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
The guy was in the end zone. I think they ruled it officially as 98 yards. But
after stopping Miami on 4 straight plays near the goal line.
It was staggering. It really was.
And when you saw Mario on the sideline, he looked stunned. Yep. He looked like he didn't know what to do. It was a bad look all around, man. And the offensive line, which is like his bread and butter, you expect these guys against Middle Tennessee to get some push and be able to get a couple yards. Man, they got stopped on 3rd and short, 4th and short, like all day long running the ball. It was eye-opening. I'm rethinking everything I was about this Mario hire, honestly.
Ooh, well, it's a little early.
It is very early,
yeah,
but
damn,
that was a bad loss.
You know what's weird about college football is, and we talk about it it's a yearly conversation. Man, these kids, sometimes they just can't get up for a game.
But that's what you rely on the coach for.
I know. We talked about this last week about Louisville going into Syracuse, and they were blown out 31-7 at the Carrier Dome. And Scott Satterfield is on the hot seat. You see what they did last week?
They're good.
Do you see what they did 2 days ago to South Florida?
No, I didn't actually.
I think they blew them out like 38-7.
Yeah,
or something like that.
I feel like when they're not up for the game, it's like it took them 3 quarters to get up for it. It should have been handled immediately at halftime. Bring the quarterback, bring the backup in, whatever. But they didn't. I feel like Mario didn't want to bench Van Dyke because he was probably thinking about the rest of the season as a whole, and is like, do you want to kill this kid's momentum or confidence?
Yeah.
Like, no.
But he went to it anyway. 41-3.
Had to.
I mean, 41-3. Louisville knocks off South Florida 41-3.
After USF almost beat USF.
Well, the officials saved Florida a week ago. I mean, again, you're not gonna hear many in these parts come out and say that, right? I have no problem saying it. I said it all last week. Florida didn't get one call or two calls. Florida got about 6 or 7 calls against South Florida. And again, if that shoe was on the other foot, my goodness, people would have been going freaking crazy.
Still be talking about
when it goes the other way, you're not gonna hear it. I'm gonna mention it because I'm honest, and I've always been honest, and that's the way it is. If a team gets calls, I'll say a team gets calls. Florida got 6 or 7 calls last week against South Florida. By the way, this I forget who it was on Twitter, but someone handed out a moral victory to Florida, and it really boiled my blood. You cannot hand out a moral victory to a football team that had knocked off their opponent 16 times in 17 games. It's impossible. There's no such thing as a moral victory. I know they fought hard. I know they came back and were a Hail Mary away for, can you imagine what that would have done to Tennessee fans? It again is in total comparison to me of what LSU would have done if they did not block that point after attempt, because I think everyone out there listening knows that momentum is so huge in college football and that LSU would have won that game in overtime. It didn't. They blocked it. Shaquem Brown blocked it. That game is now way down the road. It's almost forgotten. It's an old win. If Tennessee allowed a Hail Mary, oh my God, that would have broken their backs forever.
Well, what did you think about the going for 2 by Napier?
I thought it was a bad move.
Maybe go what the hell? I had to do the math in my head 25
points.
times.
I don't chase points until I have to chase points. That's the way I've always looked at it. We talked about this with Doug Peterson a couple of weeks ago. Okay, I'm just not doing it that way. All right, take the points, then go for 2 when you have to go for 2. Go for it on 4th down when you have to go for it on 4th down. I think it was a mistake for Billy Napier. And, under that same set of circumstances, you could have attempted a game-time field goal and not have thrown, attempted to throw a Hail Mary. Just don't insult the rivalry by handing out moral victories. I mean, Florida has destroyed Tennessee in the last decade and a half. Tennessee won the game. Tennessee was the better team. For Florida, it was a great fight. They didn't quit, and they deserve credit for that. But the whole moral victory situation is beyond nauseating.
It's not like they were playing the 2001 Hurricanes or something.
Moral victories, whoever came up with that term, it is. I think it's the worst thing for your team. Remember 2 years ago, or final year of, 2 years ago.
Marone?
Doug Marone. Remember they win in week 1 against the Colts.
That was the last one.
Then they go to Nashville, and they almost won a game. I think it was a 33-30 final. And you got a lot of moral victories that were being tossed around by fans here, by the local media. And, it's almost like, well, we're 2-0. The record says 1-1, but that's a moral victory. I mean, they know we struggle in the House of Horrors. They went out there. They almost won a game. And then they just completely flatlined. I mean, they lost every single game the rest of the season. I think when you're identified as putting down a moral victory, you automatically go in reverse. So hopefully for Florida, man, you're not. I know this was just one knucklehead on Twitter. I don't even remember who it was. He's pretty well respected in the world of college football. Because I don't.
I hope it wasn't Matt Hayes.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't my buddy Matt. It wasn't our buddy Matt.
You got it right. 30-33, Tennessee beating the Jags.
You remember that moral victory?
Steven Gostkowski hit a game-winning field goal with 1 minute and 53 seconds left, except they didn't win. It was only or I guess if you get a moral victory, does the other team still get a victory as well? I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I don't know either. Eastern Washington this weekend for Florida.
That game might not even happen.
Yep. All of these games are in doubt. Missouri in 2 weeks. Florida's got a home date. So Florida's 6 out of Florida's first 7 are in the swamp.
It's tough, bro.
I mean, you got Utah, Kentucky, South Florida, at Tennessee, Eastern Washington, Missouri, and LSU all in the swamp. 6 of your first 7. Wow. Okay. And, listen, you got it done against Utah. It was a huge win. Huge win. Kentucky pounded you. They were the better team. South Florida, we've already gone over it. The officials affected that game. That should have been a loss. Now you lose at Tennessee. You could be in a situation where you've lost 3 in a row. You need this Eastern Washington matchup. Then all of a sudden, let's just flip the coin. Missouri's punched you in the mouth before. LSU, we know about that rivalry. And I tell you what, I watched them a little bit again this weekend. I heard from a lot of Gator fans, Florida State knocked off LSU. LSU sucks. LSU all of a sudden is playing some better football. Georgia, that's going to be ugly. My God, is that going to be ugly. At A&M.
Although Georgia actually did give up points this week.
I know. How about A&M? The missed kick.
Dude, Arkansas should have been up like 3 scores. That kid dives from like the 5-yard line. Bonehead play. I've never seen a kick hit off the top of an upright.
Here's what's weird about college football. Yeah, I thought Miami was a better team last week. They dropped a lot of balls. They made a lot of mistakes. Of course, they weren't ready yesterday or Saturday. I thought Arkansas was the better team. I mean, Texas A&M has escaped 2 weeks in a row.
Aggies had no business.
Where I thought they were the inferior team. But
they have a great defense.
Mm-hmm. They lost one of their prize wide receivers that was announced today for the remainder of the year. As I head to this break, let me find his name for you. Yada, yada, yada. It was Anais Smith. Yeah. 15 receptions, 291 yards, 2 touchdowns so far this year. He's a senior. He's done a lot of good things for Texas A&M.
Their offense already sucks. So
127 career receptions. Yeah, and obviously they've gone through a couple of quarterbacks. Max Johnson wins games. He's a game manager. He wins games. And he won a lot of games at LSU and when they really began to slip up, and ever since they put him in, they sat down Haynes King. Max Johnson has knocked off teams in consecutive weeks, ranked teams.
Who did LSU
Miami
beat
and Arkansas. Week? LSU had a directional school. I think they knocked off New Mexico. I thought
New Mexico, yeah. 38-0.
But they pounded them. They didn't give up any points. We continue to see the development of the Jaden Daniels, a transfer who came over from Arizona State. Emory Jones, by the way, now at Arizona State.
Forgot that guy even exists.
For Herman Edwards, who was fired. See, Jeff Collins fired
Not shocked
today.
by that.
So that's 4 coaches who have been fired, right? We've
Nebraska, Georgia Tech, Arizona State, and who else?
There was one other. Those 3. Boise State?
Did they?
Or was that the offensive coordinator at Boise State? We've had a 4th coach with a firing as well, though. Who was the other prominent? Nebraska? Anyway, we'll come back. We'll take a look at that. But there's been a lot of them so far. All right. Arizona State, we said that. Was it in the Big Ten?
Nebraska?
Happened? Arizona State. South Florida's close. with Brad
He
Scott's
saved his ass against Florida, though, and then just got destroyed last week.
He didn't win the game, though. Anyway. All right, let's take a quick break. Come on back. Final touches on this one. Get you ready for Hacker Nation. He joins you at 8.
1991, we played Boston College. Tommy Mack had like 15 tackles.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
19.
okay,
Took 4
but
away
it was
from
19. Tom McManus, Friday from 10 to noon on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window.
Mia O'Brien here, and when I need plumbing and septic help, I call the Duck. Duck Rooter, that is. They're a local company that launched right here in Jacksonville 3 years ago. They're already one of the largest plumbing and septic companies in Florida. My friends at the Jacksonville Jaguars are proud partners of Duck Rooter, and I'm proud to be on their hometown team too. Football season is here, so join our squad. Next time you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769.
Now, the Hurricane Report, brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
A bad first quarter led to an upset in Miami as the Hurricanes fell to Middle Tennessee on Saturday 45-31. Tyler Van Dyke benched after turning the ball over twice. Jake Garcia came in going 10 for 19, 169 yards. Running back Thaddeus Franklin Jr. had a day, just 36 yards, but rushed for 2 touchdowns. UNC up next Saturday.
If you or someone you know want to make a difference in your community while developing a career, we have an immediate opportunity for you at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida. Starting at $15 an hour, training and a great work environment await you as you help create better futures for the next generation. Share your passion while impacting youth in Clay County. Boys and Girls Clubs are hiring in Orange Park, Green Cove, Middleburg, and Keystone Heights. Apply online at bgcnf.org/clay. Equal Opportunity Employer.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
Bridging the gap between the First Coast and the swamp.
Another Gator got in the house.
Another Gator!
Join me, Lauren Brooks, as I analyze the Florida Gators athletic program on the Gator Report.
Brought to you by Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts on 1010XL.
When it comes to roofing solutions, most homeowners don't know they actually have a big variety of options. At Honest Abe Roofing, they offer a polymer-modified asphalt shingle that is guaranteed for life. This unique product can withstand 130-mile-an-hour winds, baseball-sized hail, plus it's algae-proof and fireproof. For the best roofing products, guaranteed for life, choose Honest Abe Roofing, the reliable roofer. Call 341-ROOF or visit honestaberoofing.com.
Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
Sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death on school campuses and for student athletes. Find out how to get free electrocardiogram heart screenings for all Nassau County school students October 18th through the 21st at whoweplayfor.org.
The Hometown for Heroes Home Buyers Program helps you get your down payment and closing costs paid. Call to learn more. 574-7180.
The Amelia Island Charity Golf Tournament and Concert featuring Morgan Evans is Friday, October 21st. It benefits Folds of Honor, and you can sign up at foldsofhonoraigolfevent.org.
The Farm Share Food Giveaway at Greater Church of God by Faith on Old Middleburg Road is Saturday, October 29th from 9 a.m. until all the food is gone. This is a drive-thru only event.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's F-A-V-E-R, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
Did you know that about 80% of new home buyers don't ever shop around for the best mortgage loans? What a huge mistake. Hey, it's Prosser here for my friends at Loan Plano. Not all mortgages are created equal. People who use Loan Pronto save on average $3,500 just in closing costs. On top of that, they get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agent's go-to lender are fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I bet you they cannot get you a better loan, a lower rate, without those annoying closing costs. And when rates drop, Loan Pronto will refinance you for free, no closing costs. Call now to get pre-approved in a matter of minutes. They can even hook you up with a high-performing real estate agent if you don't already have one. Call Loan Pronto, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, Boise State fired their offensive coordinator, Tim Plow. It is Dirk Cutter, the former offensive coordinator here. Also, of course, head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He will take over as the offensive coordinator. Andy Avalos stays on as the head coach. A lot of good stuff here. Emily Rose Van Schoten. I always listen to this show. This is on YouTube. I don't know how to respond on YouTube. One of these days I'm going to figure it out. As of right now, I don't know how to do it.
It wasn't Emily Rose. Emily Rose, you ever seen the... oh, my God. Well, she was the exorcism.
Yeah, it was like the exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's what it was called.
I actually know a couple of Emily Roses.
Oh,
one was a cheerleader. One was a cheerleader here, and then now she's a cheerleader in Arizona with the Cardinals, or as I would say, in Phoenix. And Emily Rose, I do some work with her, some marketing. She's a good friend, but this is obviously not her because she goes on to say, I always listen to this. My boyfriend does Uber Eats. Not a big sports fan, but I love the show. Rick is hilarious. I had to see what he looked like. Honestly, he looks exactly how I pictured him.
Yeah, gorgeous.
That's it. No, I mean, looks exactly. You got one here.
Oh, nice.
Jay didn't get a YouTube time. Some people wondering about that. Someone actually asked as well, did you say that during halftime when I was listening to Tedeschi and Trucks, as I watched the game with them yesterday, as they went back to rehearse during halftime, someone asked if you actually did smoke a bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not for the Jags. I'm at work, actually. But college games, listen, to take in that Miami game, I was having to do a lot more than that to cope. All right? It was a rough Saturday.
Well, we'll get back to Victory Monday. Stop picking on my Gators. That is it. We are out of here. Now, listen, I don't check the YouTube. I don't check the text line now if the show is over. If you want to get a hold of me, the only way you can do so is on Twitter. That is Ballou, Ballou, 1010XL. Hackers up next. So with you tomorrow night after Helmets and Heels, 6 to 8. Wednesday, 6 to 8. Thursday for Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra. Folks, have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.
The best ability is availability.
If you're hurt, you can still play. If you're injured, you can't.
Listen for the personal injury attorneys Farah and Farah Injury Update on 1010XL. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979.
Jacksonville.
Honda continues to impress with their new lineup this year. Don't settle for less when the best is just minutes away. We invite you to visit your local Honda dealer and see the vehicles everyone is talking about. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda. Come see us. We're dealing.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief for joint pain. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatment with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injuries or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroid, pain meds, and surgeries are the only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore damaged tissues. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone arthritis and been told that you need replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for any alternative way to deal with pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Connects now for a free consultation. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give your life back with no drugs and no surgery.